Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about the component change detection strategy. So in Angular, the change detection strategy is a mechanism to detect the changes in the component data and reflect those changes in the view. So normally Angular provides two main strategies, that is, one is default strategy and another one is an onPush strategy. So as you people already know, if you have learned about my Angular courses, so we will be having in Angular two different strategies. That is one default strategy and another one is onPush strategy. So this is default strategy and another one is onPush strategy. Understanding these strategies is crucial for optimizing your application performance. So I will provide you with a simple example, something like counter example or anything. I will try to show you and I will demonstrate you how it both work and also their differences. So by default, Angular uses this default change detection strategy. This strategy checks for changes in bindings for all components starting from the root component to all child components whenever any event happens, like click event or HTTP responses, etc. So this can be a performance intensive for large applications with many bindings. I will try to show you a simple example with the default strategy. So normally all the components are by default change detection strategy default only. So if you mention it by explicitly onPush only, then it will be different. So I will try to show you one change detection strategy by default. For example, let's say that here, okay, so I will close this one. I am closing this one. Okay, so let's close this one. So I am clearing it off. I am creating a new component, child default. Okay, so I am creating a new component, child default. So that means which will implement the default strategy. So let it create. So now we have created a component. I will also create another component, that is nothing but ngGC child push. So there is nothing but which will have an onPush strategy, so that we will create two components at a time and we will try to see the difference by the time. So now these two components has been created. Let's go to the parent.component.ts file or HTML file. Okay, and here I will remove this one all, and let's go to the app.component.html file also, and here I will comment out this all the things. Okay, or otherwise I will remove it. And app-parent. So this is the one which we will be having, and here, okay, so here in our parent.component file, so here I will be having two strategies, that is nothing but app-child. Oh sorry, we need to import these two things, right? Parent.component.ts file, and here I will import child-default component, and another one is child onPush component or otherwise push component. Okay, so these two components has been there. Now we are having these two components, and let's go to the parent.component.html file, and in this one we will have something like app-child-default. Okay, so we are having app-child-default, and I will have another one is app-child-push. Okay, so these are the two components which we will be having. So we are able to see it. Now let's go to the app-child-default. I want to show you the difference. So for example, let's say that here I am having a value in such a way that I am having a count. Okay, so count is equal to 0, and if you go into the constructor, and here I will run the set interval. Okay, and here I will run for every second, and I will increment the counter. Okay, so by default this one is a default strategy. So this dot count plus. Now when you implement this one, so if you go to the child-default.html file, and if you try to see here the first one, if you are having, so okay, sorry, the div, if you try to check, okay, and here count value for default strategy. Okay, so here the count value, if you try to see, all the time it will be updated. Here you will be able to see the output for this one. If I try to refresh this page, why this one is not coming, and here also I did it, and if you try to see here, page reload sent to the client. Sometimes the problems will come. We need to restart the server again. Let us restart the server. Okay, so now we are able to see that count value for default strategy has been running. So now if you try to see here, every time when the set interval is updating, so the component is checking for the changes, and all the components which are available and its child components also are getting updated. So because of that reason, so we are able to see. Okay, so this is how the default strategy will work. So this is one way how the default strategy will work, and the other ways how the so this is one way. And if you try to check the same thing in the onPush strategy, so here child/onPush, child/push dot component dot ts file. So here this is our thing, right? And the same code you will be having count is equal to 0, and the same constructor whichever the code we are having it, right? So I will try to update the same thing in our push strategy also. Okay, now in our child.push.strategy, child-push.component.html file, and here if I try to write the div, so the count value in onPush strategy. Okay, so this is the onPush strategy. Then the value will be let's try to check it. So now here in our child.push onPush, right? So we are updating the count, and I am writing instead of value it should be count, sorry. So the count will be there. And now if you try to see here, the onPush strategy is also getting updated, same thing, but here it is the onPush component is in the default mode. So now we need to change the change detection. So here we need to write change detection strategy dot onPush. I will try to change it to onPush. That's it. Now if I refresh this page, see, only this default strategy is getting updated, whereas this onPush strategy is not getting updated. Why? Because so whenever this component is updating, it will not check for the changes. So then what we need to do? So if it is not checking for the changes, this onPush is not checking for the changes, means then if any variable or any value is getting updated, how come the template will able to know that this value has been updated, and now it needs to run the template re-rendering? How it will try to do it? So there are particular scenarios where this onPush strategy will detect for the changes. So those strategies and all those things we will try to see it in our next video. I will try to explain you completely on the onPush, in which scenarios or in which situations that change detection strategy will be executed or will be running. So normally in which scenarios it will not run. Default strategy will always run, but here this time it is not running. So what are the different scenarios where this onPush strategy will check for the changes? I will try to explain in the next video. So this is the code. I will commit this entire code in a new branch, that is nothing but video-29. Okay, and whoever may be having doubts or anything, so you can refer to this code. So here change detection default and onPush. So I will committing this code. So if you want to refer this code, means I will be providing the GitHub repository URL in the description below, so you can have a take a look at that one. And if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.